I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect and few sisters that are listening. Salutations to the Akam as well. So today we're going to go into mirth, into excess mirth, because this is related to a video that Elder Gabar had made. I didn't finish watching the full thing, but he was going in on, I think it's the IUIC camp?
The ISUPK camp.
ISUPK camp, whatever,
Yeah.
how do you say their name?
Yeah.
Because they made a video talking about, can't you just have fun? Or they were talking about how you can have fun in the truth.
Right.
And they're saying shit like, if you're not smoking weed, I don't know what you're doing. They're saying shit like that. So pure just foolishness. They're out here throwing on gang signs and stuff on camera. Like that, you can't. A good point that Elder Gabar brought out was that you can't tell the difference between them and a nigga in the world. That they act and look exactly the same because they're always in mirth. Now let's dive into the definition of mirth. That's joy, pleasure, eternal bliss, and salvation. Which is funny because there's no salvation in mirth. And there's no actual eternal bliss in mirth. If anything, there's ignorance. And you were talking about, I want to see what else is there? Expression or manifestation of happiness, rejoicing, state of feeling merriment, jollity, hilarity, entertainment that excites conclusive laughter. And you mentioned another word. Was it joy?
It was fun.
Fun.
Yeah, Apostle Gabar broke it down, I believe, in Italian. But and part of it was to
just that first part, diversion.
Yeah. Part of it
amusement,
is
mirthful spirit, sport. So diversion, and that's because it will too much. An excess of mirth will divert you from the truth, because you're not keeping a balance. You're just going super far in one direction. Like I know the elders at camp have talked about before. Like some brothers have their hobby. They might like to play basketball on the side. They might like to write songs on the side or play sports or do crafts or read or whatever it is. But they're not going to the extent where they're mirthful. They're not trying to get to the NBA. They're not trying to, take over all of their downtime with playing these sports and shit like that. Like they do this stuff on the side. But the truth comes first. It's not a diversion from the truth. But this camp was talking about smoking weed and doing all of this other shit that they consider fun.
And even holding, I think they were celebrating the Lord's Passover, or celebrating a Passover, and it was in a very mirthful spirit.
Oh yeah, can't smoke.
And it just took away the actual solemnity and the importance of the Passover, right? So. Because
they were not in the solemn spirit. They're out here shouting and shit like, "Oh yeah, man, nigga, if you don't smoke weed, you ain't do like what?" What's solemn about that?
And that's a spirit that a lot of our people are already in, so you shouldn't already try to add to that. Right? Because that's what all people like. It's loud music, that barbecue mentality. Loud music, good wine, good women, and all that kind of stuff all the time, right?
Just like the Romans and the Greeks, man.
Yeah, and that's that's parallel to that. Actually, bring out a precept and then I'll bring out the point. Yeah, so what precept you want me to...
Because our people are good at everything, and that includes being wicked. Let's start with Romans 12:2.
Okay. 12:2. Okay, so Romans 12:2, and it reads, "And be not conformed to this world."
That alone right there. We can just end it there, and that's enough, Just be not conformed to this world, and that means like pretty much what I had just said before. You have your side hobby, you have your side thing, but you don't let it take over your entire life, and you're not trying to be like these guys, like Jake at a barbecue, just partying, drinking, smoking weed, hitting on other men's women, shit like that, doing that foolishness.
Yeah, because scriptures talk about being sober, right? And if you're constantly in that spirit of being mirthful, and you're like a guy, you're like a security guard that that's not keeping post and keeping watch of what's actually being attentive, essentially, especially of things that are going on in the world.
Yeah, you're like a drunkard. If you have ever talked to a very drunk person, it is that conversation leads nowhere.
Con.
Now, if you're living out that, where are you going?
Con. There's stagger, right?
Yeah, they're staggering
Yeah.
staggering left, right,
Yeah.
down, all everywhere but the right path.
Con. Okay, so continue on. It says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove that what is good and acceptable, and the perfect will of the Most High Yahweh."
Yeah, I don't know anywhere in the scripture where I heard Yahweh Shai in being in a mirthful spirit. He was not.
Yeah, he was described as an austere man.
Khan.
Right.
He was meek, humble, and he was there was a lot of solemn times too with him and the other apostles. No time was he living like that, smoking weed, drinking excess, being in that mirthful spirit, man. He was there on a mission. He knew what he had to do, and he followed through with it.
Actually, you mind if I read verse 11?
Khan.
It says Romans 12 and 11, and it says not... Okay,
Whew,
actually I'll read verse 10, and then I'll read verse 11. "Be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord Yahweh."
And that's also that's talking to the brethren, to the other tribes of Israel, not just every single person on the earth. You're not going to go to someone at the pride parade and and treat them like a brother.
But most specifically amongst your brethren, right? Your brothers too, right? And showing that that example that Yahweh Shai laid out for us, and being that brotherly example, and and reflecting on that example that Yahweh Shai has laid out for us, right? Example, the washing of the feet, Yahweh Shai being that example, and putting himself in that humble position, and washing the apostles, sorry, at that time the disciples' feet, right? And eventually they became apostles, right? So these are things that are fruits for the Spirit, right? For us to actually exemplify in our walk, right?
Oh, kind of. We're gonna read in 12 as well.
12? Okay, I can read 12. Yeah. Romans 12, verse 12, and it reads, "Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continue in instant prayer." Verse 13, "Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality."
And I just want to go into tribulation real quick, because it's pressing together, pressure, which is well, yeah, what we pressure creates diamonds. I forgot the exact quote in the scriptures in the scripture. Oh no, that goes about fire. We were fighting through the fire, so we need that pressure to keep on leveling up.
Oh,
but
gold tried in the fire.
Yeah, but it also goes into oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, straits. Straits, as in straits.
Go ahead.
So we're not in a comfortable state where we're loving every day of our life. We're doing shit that we love every single day. We're in straits.
And that straits is a position of difficulty. Right. So
like when you put someone in a madhouse, they're in straits. They can't move freely. They're locked in a little room. They can't continue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it actually.
If you don't have, do you have a scripture you want to bring out? If not, I'll just jump to the next one.
Actually, yeah, I could put one. This is Ecclesiastes 3. I'll start at 1. Points in 5. Let's see. Okay, so 1, it says, "To everything there is a season, a time."
Okay, you're starting Ecclesiastes 1 and 5?
Sorry, 3 and 1.
Okay,
Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1, and the points in 5. "To everything there is a season, and a time and a purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing." So right now we're in a time of actually mourning, being in that contrite spirit, and actually trying to repair our relationship, with the Heavenly Father through His Son, so hopefully, Lord willing, He would have continue to have mercy on us.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just about to say mercy, because Where currently he's given we're under a lot of mercy because it's hard to keep every single commandment. We're sinning every day whether we want to or not. So willingly sinning through doing all that mirthful shit, uh, you're just setting yourself up for destruction, for the fire. And I want to bring out First Corinthians 15 and 50.
15 and 15.
Yeah, First Corinthians 15 and 50.
50. Okay, First Corinthians 15, verse 50, and it reads, "But this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, Yahweh, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption."
Kind of, we're going to be reading down to 54, but
Oh,
corruption cannot inherit incorruption. And incorruption is when we get beamed up into those chariots. Because right now we're in corruptible bodies. A lot of people can be swayed, holding them, but not the hopeful elect.
Right.
But we're in a corruptible body. We're going to be beamed up into the incorruptible, the indestructible body, and have a more incorruptible mind as well.
Yeah, because in the second covenant, the Lord's gonna put his into our inward. He's gonna put the laws into our inward parts. Right. Verse 51, it says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in a twinkle of an eye, and in the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed."
Kind of, that's the dead of the hopeful elect. Not just everyone else. Not Esau's not going to be saved like that.
No. He's going to be reserved for slavery. Pursuant to Revelation, I believe 6. Verse 53. "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and the mortal must put on immortality."
So even though we're in these corruptible bodies, we're trying to put on incorruption. We're trying to be perfect like Yahweh Shai was. Although it's damn near impossible for us to be perfect on a daily basis, but we're trying to. That is the biggest part. That's where we have mercy. That's where we're given mercy. And this mortal must put on immortality. That's what we're working towards. We're trying to be perfect on a daily basis so we can get that immortality down the line.
Yeah, that incorruptible crown that Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians 9, right? Verse 54, it reads, "So when this corruptible shall put on incorruption, this mortal shall have put on immortality. Then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory."
So that's pretty much everything I was just saying. So yeah, we're gonna get beamed up. We're gonna be renewed. If your head got cut off, whatever, not through all the tribulations, you're gonna come back from the dead and get your new body and your mind fully renewed as well.
Yeah, then you would never go off because you have the laws in your minds, right?
You'll be in actually no. I was gonna say you'll be in a similar state to Yahweh Shai, but he's still gonna be way above us.
He'll be above us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have you're not gonna be going off track because you have the laws inwardly in your indestructible body. You're gonna be following every commandment that Yahweh and Yahweh Shai give you.
You want me to get something?
Yeah, sure. You can grab some if you like. If not, I have more.
Okay. Let's get Isaiah 60. Verse 2. Okay, so it reads, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." So, these people, these other camps are in absolute darkness for actually telling the people that, right? It's important for us to actually continuing to repair that relationship that we have, with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? So, like we were saying earlier, to actually, obtain mercy, right? And protection, because we need to be, we would like to be protected during these times, right? Because, the dragon's going to come down with great wrath because, he has a short time, right? So, yeah, these people are in complete darkness, man. But, people who actually understand the Bible, you know, the elect are the ones who actually have this light, right? You know, it says that in Ecclesiastes, the light, it makes a man's face to shine. Wisdom makes a man's face to shine. So, like, to paraphrase, right? That's it on that. That's it on that.
Con. Yeah, that's why we make these videos, to help lead the men in the darkness that want to find the light, or that are given the will to find the light. Now let's bring out Ecclesiastes 7:4. So it speaks to exactly what we've been saying.
Oh, okay. Ecclesiastes 7:4, and it reads, "The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth."
Because when you picture a fool, that's what you picture. Someone that's always immersed, mirth, trying to dance around, drinking every day, irresponsible, just doing all this foolishness on a daily basis. Like we've all, well, most of us know someone or seen someone in the world that is like that. They take nothing seriously. Always, always in the house of mirth. They're the person that's drinking, that's taking shots at a Tuesday at 12 o'clock, you know? They're just doing foolishness on a daily basis, smoking weed, pounds of weed every single week. They're not even tuned into reality. They're in their own little mirth land.
Yeah, they're not aware of what's going on.
Not a single thing.
Yeah, I have coworkers like that, unfortunately, and I hate to see their guts sometimes, man.
Yeah, because they're just stupid, man. They don't do any of their own research, nothing. They're the same ones that are like, oh yeah, you should get the well, they're gonna be the same ones that say you should get the C hip, and they're the ones that were pushing the jump shot as well. Oh, I need to protect your family, get the jump shot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because they're not sober. They're drunk, essentially, right? They're drunk off Babylon's philosophies, and then they're drunk because they stagger. You know, they're not keeping their head on a swivel, like it says in it doesn't say that in Ephesians, but you know that's kind of what being circumspect means. You know, the circum meaning to look around, and spect meaning to spect means to look, and circum means to I guess. Actually, let me just grab it. Yeah. I don't want to butcher it.
Ooh, I have one more I want to bring out after.
Okay. Let me just get it in the etymology, then I'll bring out the precept real quick.
Beautiful. Bring it out.
Okay, so circumspect in the etymology, cautious, weary, look about on all sides, deliberate, guarded, well considered. Look around, take heed, around, about. Okay, so circum means to look around, and then the spec goes back to speciere, meaning to look. So look around. So essentially to look around, look all around, essentially, right? So let's get Ephesians 5. That's a precept I was trying to quote. Okay, so Ephesians 5:15, it reads, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. Wherefore be not as unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord Yahweh is." Verse 18, "Be not drunk with wine, wherein in excess, but be filled with the Spirit." Right, so these people are absolutely drunk with wine, you know, actual wine, and the wine in a spiritual sense too, because they're not taking heed to the times that we're in, right? They're not taking heed to these unrighteous decrees that Esau puts out, you know, being aware of what's going on in the news and keeping abreast of the situations that we're, you know, where the world's going, right? So
And even if they're somewhat aware of what's going on, they don't have the truth. They don't have the scriptures. So they'll try to go based on their own knowledge and try to go hide away somewhere. I've heard a lot of people say they want to. Well, they're either preparing for war or preparing to fight with guns, or fighting or learning some kind of fighting skill, or they want to buy some land and disappear, not knowing that it's all going to be destroyed anyway. Or know that they can't hide and disappear the way that they're going with the C-hip and everything. They're making it so they can see exactly what you're doing, where you're going, and be monitored 24/7. I have one more that I can bring out.
One more? Okay, come.
It is Ecclesiastes 7:4.
I think I read that, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
7:4?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah. Is that what you had? Is the last one you had?
Yeah, that's the last one I had. The heart of the wise is in the house of the mourning, but the heart of the fool is in the house of mirth. Con, yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess it's so good that to come out twice.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got.
Oh, actually,
Oh, you got one? Okay.
yeah, Psalms 51 and 17. Psalms 51 and 17. Yeah. This is the last one I want to bring out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good one. Psalms 51, verse 17, and it says, "The sacrifices of the Most High are a broken and contrite heart, O Most High Yahweh, thou wilt not despise."
Yeah, that's because we're aware of everything that's going on. We're so mad about it. We're like, this is fucking foolishness. Like contrite in etymology is broken in spirit by the sense of guilt, conscience stricken, and resolved to not sin again. And that's also because we know we went off so much in the past.
Exactly. That's why we're in these situations, right? So that's why it prevents us from being in that over mirth spirit, right? Because what does that promote? It thinks that everything is okay. You think that you and the Most High are tight. No, we did something wrong, and we're trying to do our best to repair it, right? So that's why we're not in that over mirth, spirit.
Because the overly mirth spirit is bringing in ignorance. Because a lot of times people are overly mirth or in that overly mirth spirit because they're trying to avoid reality. They're trying to, that ignorance is bliss spirit. They don't want to know what's going on. Like a lot of anyone that I've mentioned, a lot of people that I mentioned before that, the jump shot shit might be coming back or something similar. Like, well, I don't want to know. They say shit like that. I don't want to know, or I hope not, or else they're gonna hide or some shit like that. They want to be ignorant about it.
Yeah.
They want it to sneak upon them like a thief in the night.
That's what it's gonna be.
Con.
That's how it's gonna be. They're like the ostrich that just sticks its head in the sand. You ever seen those cartoons?
Yeah, rest of his body's exposed. It's still exposed to danger. It just can't see it coming.
Yeah.
But it feels that false sense of security because his head is in the sand. It's like, it's like a child. Like, if I can't see you, you can't see me.
Yeah.
Con, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got as well. I had some more, but hopefully this this solidifies the point.
All right, we'll close up there. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect that are pushing this word, and salutations to the Akim and few sisters that may listen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat